Hello, I'm going to attempt to film this video. I have no idea how it's going to turn out, but we're going to try. This is the ultimate what's in my bag video. It's the what's in my backpacking bag video, otherwise known as what's in my pack. This is my first solo backpacking trek, and my first backpacking trek in 25 years. Is that right? Something like that. So this is actually my second backpacking adventure in my entire life. We'll just leave it at that. So I am a newbie. In no way, shape, or form should this be a video that you look to for like expert or even somewhat knowledgeable advice on what to pack. I just thought it would be fun. I'll be honest, this pack, when I left the house, weighed 40 pounds. Now mind you, that's with 4 days worth of food plus an extra day, because you're always supposed to bring an extra day's worth of food, so I've read, and a full 3-liter water reservoir. Still, that's ridiculously heavy. I don't recommend it. It's really hard to carry. I'm 31 miles into this trek, and my shoulders hate me. But I'm managing all right, and I'm having a good time. Obviously, I'm still in good spirits. So now this isn't going to be quite like a how I pack it video or like what it looks like. I'll try to insert a clip of what it looks like, because right behind the camera here is my tent, and in it I've already set up my sleeping pad and my sleeping bag and my little pillow. So those are actually the most bulky things in the bag, and they're not in the bag right now. So this is not an accurate representation of what this pack looks like fully packed. Like I said, I'll try to show that to you in a separate clip. Here's what she looks like, all packed up. My tent in the front, poles on the side, Kula Cloth, my Garmin's on the strap there. I've got my bandana, my bear spray, my water reserve, GoPro stick thing. And there she is. But I thought it'd be fun to show you what I pack, and then I can look back on this in a year or 2 or 5 and be like, you fool, you brought way too many things. So you might hear other people walking by. This is a popular day trail as well, but I'm just not going to let it stop me. So let's start with what's on the outside of the bag. First of all, my trekking poles. I highly recommend. I mean, I don't think I could do backpacking without them. Honestly, whenever I'm carrying a pack that's heavier than like 8 pounds, I want them, because they help me with not only with balance but weight distribution and just keeping everything kind of correct form-wise. I don't know if that makes any sense. I bought these when I went to Italy specifically because I knew they would pack up small enough to put in my checked luggage, and also they're very lightweight. They can come a little bit apart if you're like the bottom gets stuck in some mud or something, which can be a little frustrating, but honestly they're great and I love them. I'll link everything that I can below, but these are the Black Diamond Distance Carbon Z's. I also recommend making sure that you try your poles before you take them on a trek, because I bought 110s because according to the size chart that was the appropriate size length pole for my height. But as it turns out, because you want them to be like at hip level, like if you're holding your arm out that way, because I have a short torso and longer legs, I needed the 120s. Most poles that aren't collapsible into 3 pieces are just one size and adjustable, so you won't have to worry about that. But if you buy the ones that pack down into 3. So most of the time these are not on the side of my bag because I'm using them. Instead, I have my tent poles. I just find it easier to keep them there, and some accessories that go to the camera stand I'm using right now. On the other side, I have my Nalgene, which I filter out my water and put it into there, and this is what I use for cooking and stuff. Like I said, this bag I also put in, you have to buy it separately, but I have a 3-liter reservoir, one of these guys, bladder, is this called a bladder? It's a Hydro pack. It's also Osprey. My pack is I don't know if I mentioned this, an Osprey Kite 56. I had the 46, it was not big enough, so I upgraded to the 56. And you buy the bladder separately. They come in different liter. This is the biggest one, I think. It's the 3-liter. But I obviously need to fill that because it's empty. But it fits when it's cooperating. Right in the back, how it just clips right in. Not like it's really gonna go anywhere, but it clips right in. And the thing I like about this is that you can get, and again I'll do a close-up, this little magnetic attachment that comes with it. So when it's strapped to you, it just magnetizes to the side instead of flopping around, which is great. And I also got the little cap to put on the end of it because I end up dumping, the thing just falls into the dirt all the time when you put your pack down. So that keeps the mouthpiece clean. What else is on my bag? On the strap, again, I'll do a close-up. I have my Garmin Inreach Mini, which is great. It's a GPS tracker. It works via satellite, not cellular. And it can track you in pretty much anywhere you want to go. There's a few select countries that don't allow this kind of technology, and they're probably not countries that I would visit often, so don't worry about that. But I use it in Italy. It tracks great. You can send messages through it even when you don't have cell service, so it provides great peace of mind. I do pay a monthly subscription for it. There is an SOS button, so if I'm ever in a dire situation, I can get help, even when I'm in the middle of nowhere, remote, and it's great. I highly recommend having something like that, especially if you're planning on traveling solo. I went ahead and brought my bear canister. This is like a bear spray. It's heavy. Have I used it this whole trip? No. Am I glad that I have it? Yes. Again, peace of mind. I am in bear country. I like to always have a handkerchief, like a spare. I have one in my bag. It's a bandana, I guess. One tied to the outside. Always bring a carabiner clip. Probably would pack 2 next time, just to have. And this is wet because I just washed it in the lake. This is the bomb diggity. I call this my pee rag. It's called the Kula Cloth. It has just been such a lifesaver out here in the wilderness. When I don't want to pack in and pack out tissue all the time, just use this. If you're near a source of water, you can wash it as needed, and it's great. And, oh yes, in the front pocket, I've stashed my camp shoes. This was something I lamented not having my last camping trip. And these are Zero shoes, and I think they're called their trail sandals, and they're perfect. They're super lightweight. I'm going to leave them out, actually. And I'm going to put them on after this. And it's just such a relief to take your hiking boots off at the end of the day. I mean, I've been even leaving my socks on and just putting those on. And especially like in the evening, if I need to run and do a little pee in the woods situation, I could just put those on instead of having to lace up my boots and everything. We like it. Okay, in the top, I believe they call this the brain. There's a big pocket in the back, and I have my heavier layers. Now, this trip ended up being unseasonably warm. It's been in the mid to upper 60s, which isn't like super warm, but it's been incredibly humid for this time of year. This is like early mid-October, and it's been 70 to 95% humidity every day, which is a lot. So I actually haven't reached for these layers yet because I haven't needed them. If it was as what is seasonal temperatures for this time of year, it'd be anywhere between 45 and 55 degrees with like 30% humidity. It would be much cooler, and I would want these things. So I'm glad I brought them. I haven't used them. It's okay. I have an icebreaker mid layer. It's like a zippy hoodie. I love it. And then I have my North Face puffy jacket. I don't really want to take them all the way out because they're stuffed so nicely in there. But this is what I like using the brain for, at least in these couple of trips that I've used it on so far, is to put those layers because you can actually fit quite a bit in there. Okay, let's go into the pack. So as I mentioned, what you're not seeing that I'm going to hold up here is the sleeping bag all stuffed up in its compression sack, and my sleeping pad all deflated and rolled up. The little sleeping pillow, inflatable pillow I have, again, deflated and rolled up into its little pouch, and the tent. So I put the sleeping bag in the bottom of the bag, and this is a pocket that's designed for this. I would normally pack that first and then put everything else in it because it wouldn't fit in here right now with the way things are. But the sleeping bag fits perfectly in there. And then I have this little Eagle Creek packing cube with my rain gear. And I think they're called Arc'teryx? I I think that's the brand, is my rain jacket and my rain pants. Best gear. I love that stuff. I brought both to Italy. I bought them for that trip specifically, but I knew I would use them, you know, for years to come. It's a pricey brand. I have a few of their things now, but there are just, I mean, the quality is incomparable. Why can't I think of the word? It's really hard to do. Anyway, so the sleeping bag fits nicely in there, and everything else kind of tucks in. And then I've just been putting the tent on the outside. Although I could configure it differently and maybe put the chair hooked onto the bottom or something else. It's just what I've been doing. So I brought a little hand towel. This is an REI brand, like very thin microfiber kind of situation. Hi, bug. Because I thought I would want one. And I'm glad I have it. I honestly haven't used it this trip. But I feel like, again, kind of like with the little bandanas, it's just kind of a peace of mind thing. Like, if it was supposed to rain all one day and it didn't, if it had rained, it would have been nice to have a little towel to, you know, get myself together. On the bottom of the brain, there's a really nice zip pocket, which is where I keep my water filtration system. This thing is the best. It's the Be Free 1 liter water filter by Katadyn. I don't know how to pronounce that. It works amazingly well. I've been drinking Lake Superior water, filtered through this, and it's been perfect. The Lake Superior water, by the way, is beautiful. Has a key fob, so I have my car keys in here because I will hike back to my car. I also have my wallet in here. It's just a nice place to put it. I have some extra little baggies and kind of like spare paper towel, just in case, and a few emergency tissues, just in case, in Ziploc bags, just to keep them dry in case of inclement weather. Honestly, it hasn't rained much, but it's been so humid that it's been damp, especially overnight and in the mornings. Okay, so like I said, we're missing the big ticket items aren't in here because they're set up over there. But I have this Sea to Summit waterproof case. This has all of my camping permits, my reservations printed out, 2 backcountry maps, and a, what's this called? Compass. That's right. I never used to hike with a compass, but not that I've gotten lost, but I mean, I love having, I will recommend this as well as like an important gear item. I use AllTrails and I subscribe to it, and that gives me the ability to download my trail maps for offline access, which has been great. So even when I don't have cellular, at least if I have access to satellite, it'll still show me where I am on the map, and it'll still show me the map even if there's no satellite or cellular. But I think this is one of those things, I've just read too many stories lately. I feel like they're in the news a lot, people getting lost. So I always make sure I have a paper map and a compass. Those things just feel important. This is something I have not used, but I brought it because I thought maybe I would need it, especially if it rained. This is my extra clothes. So what do I have in here? I have an extra pair of liners and socks. So I love these. Inreach is my favorite sock brand. I wear toe socks now because I'm that kind of person, and they're awesome. And then the Darn Tough socks, which are very well known. I have a couple pairs of extra underwear. That's the only thing I've really been using. Again, just want to be prepared. I haven't changed my socks because I haven't gotten wet, but I thought if it rained, I would need them. These little gloves by Icebreaker are great. They're little wool gloves. I have a buff and a little smart wool hat. It's been warm, unseasonably. Can we say that a few more times? So I haven't used that stuff. But in addition to those things, I brought an extra pair of pants, and these are actually just trail leggings. They're basically leggings with pockets, but they're by that brand, Arc'teryx. I figured if it was the really rainy day and I wanted to wear my rain pants, it would be better to wear those underneath the rain pants than my pants, and also if anything got wet, it's nice to have an extra pair of pants, and those are the lightest weight pants I could possibly carry. And then I have my thermals. These are Icebreaker 150s, I believe. So they're merino wool base layer. And I thought maybe I would sleep in them. It's been too warm. Or if it was especially cold, I could wear them under my pants. It has not been especially cold in the slightest. So no, I haven't used any of my backup clothing items or, you know, warm, cool weather accessories. But I'm glad I had them because it's one of those things like, I don't know if you get stuck without this stuff, then you're stuck, you know? You'll notice clothes that I did not bring extra of were tops. Like no extra shirts, no extra sport bras. If I was planning on swimming or anything like that, an extra sport bra would have probably been necessary. But I knew I wasn't going to do that by myself, especially Lake Superior is not very warm. I haven't seen anybody in the water. The farthest I've gone in is like ankle deep, which feels really good on the feet for about 3 minutes, and then that's about it. But you might think that's really gross, like to not change your shirt every day. But to be honest, I just don't see the point. Because 3 minutes into my hike in the morning, I'm sweating. And I wear clothing that is meant to be sweat wicking and kind of like odor management clothing. I really highly recommend the Icebreaker Merino Wool brand. I have a shirt that's drying back there because I sweat all day in it. Doesn't smell though. Does not smell. And then I have this layer on, which I've just been changing into at camp. And my vest, which I've only been wearing at camp because it's been so warm. But otherwise it's nice to hike in because it gives a little bit of padding for the shoulders. I also, if you notice, have my trusty hat, always Peloton, gotta represent. And my favorite sunglasses for outdoor adventures are these by Maui Jim. And I don't know the model name off the top of my head. Kipahulu. I don't think I'm saying that right. That wouldn't be shocking. So probably one of the heaviest things in my whole kit and caboodle here is this. This is my backup battery situation in my Kindle. And I have been enjoying my Kindle, so I'm glad I brought it. It's a little lighter, I think, than bringing a book. This is what I have, if you're curious. It's a Paperwhite. It's, you know, give or take. You can take it or leave it. But I have this kind of charger that charges up my Garmin and my Kindle if I need to, and my solar lamp. Oh, that's also not in here, but that can charge by solar. Cords for my phone and my watch. And then I bought 2 power banks, and I am 3 nights into this trip, and I have yet to make a dent into both of them. So I have, they're both by Anchor. This one's pretty hardcore. It's supposed to be able to charge your phone completely 5 times. And I would say that it probably does, just based on my experience with the use. Actually, I need to charge my phone. Should we charge it? Let's just charge things. We'll charge all of the things. Yeah, and bringing my phone is kind of necessary, especially as a solo traveler, to keep in touch with people, and also for navigation. Gives me peace of mind. I download videos on YouTube on it because I tend to tuck into my tent pretty early, and I just like to be able to watch things or read things. Okay, there it goes, and it's charging. So we're gonna let it do that. Like I said, I haven't had an issue with this running out, and I thought I would have drained one of them at least by now, and I haven't. So I've been pretty pleased with that. But you know, it does add weight. I want to make sure I can charge my phone and my watch because those are important pieces of my journey to me, but to each their own. Okay, and then we'll do the food stuff last. I have this little wet dry sack by Sea to Summit, another great brand. This is kind of my emergency kit and caboodle. So I have shovel. Haven't had to use it yet, as you can tell. It's very clean. I have the Sea to Summit wilderness wipes. Have used these. They're great for on the go. I have a Go Girl, which is like a pee funnel for girls, to put it bluntly. Haven't used that this trip, but I like having it. I have a copy of my passport because I have it in here from when I went to Italy, and it just feels like an important thing to keep on me. Just a copy of some sort of identification. This is emergency blanket. Again, not something I use on a regular. This is my emergency kit, so. Paracord, a few hundred feet at least. I think at least 100 feet. These are waterproof matches. Not something I've used, but have. And I have a headlamp and extra batteries for it in there. And I haven't used this because I've just been using my little lantern, but I like having a headlamp on really any hike that I'm doing to bring some sort of extra flashlight or light source in case you get lost. You want to have a light. That feels important. Making a nice little pile of stuff over here. Speaking of emergency stuff, this is my little hiker's backpacking whatever medical kit. I carried this in Italy with me too. It comes fully stocked with pretty much everything you could possibly think of needing, and I love how it's organized so neatly. Stop bleeding fast, cuts and scrapes, medication, wound care. It also has like a manual on how to take care of yourself. I've added in just a few extra things for me, some sports tape that's important to me, some kinetic tape. But yeah, and I also added on this whistle, although my bag has a whistle on the strap. This just is a little bit, like if you're really lost somewhere, it's just easier to have a separate whistle, I think. And that's so people can find you. And then, that's pretty much all that's in there, except for this little sack, which I think is an old Eagle Creek packet sack I've had forever. Has my camping stove, so I have the Jet Boil Mini Mo, which is great, and if you've watched my video from this trip you'll see me using it. But it comes with everything you need kind of packed into it to make it go. You just have to buy the fuel canisters separately. Those can't ship either. You have to buy them, I think, locally, if I'm not mistaken. But this essentially screws onto there and releases the, what is this, propane? Yeah, the propane into there, and then it has its own little igniter button, so you don't even need a match or anything to turn it on. And then the whole kit and caboodle, this comes off of here. This is a little awkward to show you, but it goes like that, and that, and like that, and psh, boils water within 2 minutes, even like almost full. In my experience, I've been super pleased with this, and all of my meals are the kind where you just pour water in, because that's the lightest weight kind of food to bring on a backpacking trip. If I'm just camping and I have my car and my whole cooler and my camp stove, my, you know, like all of that, I'm not going to bring this probably. You know, this is specific for this kind of adventure, or if you just want to be able to boil water real fast. But it is real nice. It has been the real MVP of this adventure. Just laying everything out here. Oh, this is something I brought that I don't think I would need. I have not used it. It's a little sit pad, flash sit pad by REI. I brought this chair though, which I'm sitting on. I'll have to show it to you separately. It's only about a pound. So it does add weight to the bag. It's heavier than something like this, but I love the ability to have my own chair, and I would not trade it for the 1 pound decrease in weight of my bag. It has been great. And then this clearly is the heaviest thing. So this is a Sea to Summit, what do they call this, like a sack, some sort of sack. Mine broke, so it's supposed to clip. And I lost the little pin. I still have the clip part, but the pin came out. But somehow it still closes because it has this little loop. So basically I've been storing anything that has a scent to it. So all of my toiletries and food and garbage. And then at this campsite, there are bear boxes, because this is bear country, where you can put your stuff in. You're supposed to put anything that has a scent in there, in a bear box. If there were no bear boxes, you have to hoist your food, in which case I would have like a bear canister or an sack or some combination thereof, and then you'd hoist your food up away from you in a tree. But I don't have to do that this trip, luckily. So what do I have in here? I have my camping mug, super lightweight. Honestly, it's been so warm, I haven't been making the hot beverages. If it was cooler, I feel like I would have used this more, but I haven't. But what's nice about this, I have a little binder clip on there for my little pouches. When you cook food in these little pouches, you're supposed to kind of like fold them over to have them set with the hot water. So I use the binder clip for that. This has a measuring cup on it, so I use this to measure out the amount of water I need to make my meals, which is real convenient. This has all my toiletries and personal items in it. I'm not going to go through it, but it has deodorant, toothpaste, medication, face wipes, hair stuff, a little brush, floss, some sunscreen. I didn't bring a DEET. I didn't really think I would need like big canister of bug spray because it's not supposed to be this humid. There's not supposed to be this many bugs. There are bugs, but not as many mosquitoes, I feel like, as in the summer. So I just brought these little wipes. They're by Repel, and they work just fine. I really just wipe one on at night, kind of in the evening after I've made camp, and that's been fine. Then, this is what remains of my snacks, but I had 3 times these things. So I'm down to, these are for tomorrow. A Go Macro Bar. Solely fruit jerky, mango, so good, and a little stroop waffle, is that what these are called? Something like that. These little waffles that have like caramel. I also have the Stinger ones that have honey in them, and those have been great snacks, but I'm down to my last one, the last day tomorrow. This is my garbage bag. There hasn't been a garbage can in the last couple of days. Some campgrounds have like bear-proof garbage cans. Not all of the ones here are. This is another bandana that I use to kind of keep everything dry because I cook mostly with water. This is all the hot beverage stuff that I haven't been using because it's been too hot. I've got tea and powdered oat milk in there. This is critical. The Noon Electrolytes. I use these on the daily at home for working out and stuff, but it's been really important to rehydrate. I've just been sweating profusely because of the humidity, so I feel like all of the moisture is just going right out of my body. And then of course you need treat, right? These are really good. So I bought both kinds, the brownie bites and the cookie bites, and these are by I can't see the Peak Refuel. The cookie bites are a bajillion times better than the brownie bites. I highly recommend them. They're so good. They're dehydrated. No, they're not dehydrated. They're freeze-dried desserts. And then the spork. I actually lost my spork if you watch that video. And Jim and Lisa came to my rescue. I'm going to mail that back to them. But next time, I would definitely bring 2 sporks just to have in case of an emergency, and also to be able to spread the joy. And then I still have so much food left because honestly I haven't been eating it that much. I bought all Mary Jane's Farm Outpost meals because I really wanted to try them. They come highly recommended, and they've been a little hit or miss for me, to be honest. I don't think the rice, the dehydrated rice, works well for me. So I stopped eating those meals. I have a few here. I think I took a video before I went on this trip. But what I have left is a couple of breakfasts and a few other meals. I'm probably going to have this ragu pasta tonight, or the lentil soup, I'm not sure. And maybe I'll eat the oatmeal tomorrow. Honestly, I wish I hadn't brought all of these, but I brought the number of meals that everybody recommends to bring. And I didn't even bring stuff for lunch aside from my snacks. And it still is just way too much. So that's definitely added weight to my bag. But again, that's one of those things like, I think in the future I would bring just noodle dishes because I know I like the Pad Thai by that other brand. And they just like instant noodles and instant oatmeal in the snacks, the snack bars and things. And that would be fine. And the reason my garbage bag is so full is because I have a whole cooked meal in there that I didn't like for my mate. Okay, we're almost done. I almost forgot. The hip straps are these little pockets, and you think, oh, how convenient. They're totally useless because you can only open them with 2 hands. And if you're hiking, you know that that's kind of hard to do, especially when you have trekking poles and everything. But I do stow things in them, and I appreciate the room. So I have my AirPods. face mask because we're still in COVID times, and a chapstick on one side. And then on the other side, I have a cloth to clean my camera lens and my phone camera lens. This is a clamp for my GoPro to clamp it onto the strap in my backpack, should I want to. Another light source, because you can't have too many. This is the one I always take with me, even in my purse. I love it so much. It's a little Warrior Mini by D-Light. Is that why you say that? But it's just the best. And then my little knife. And this is by Kershaw Speed Safe. That's what it says on it. Mine's a little dirty because I used it to mix something or other. So I need to wipe that off when I get home. Good to always have a knife. I think it's super important. I take it even on day hikes. Just super important. For safety, it's not even really for safety, it's just like life. It's good to have a knife. I've used it countless times, not for defense, but just to like manage myself. I think after all is said and done, that is everything. So, let me know if you think I'm ridiculous for the amount of stuff I brought, or you think I'm missing anything really important. I'd love to hear your thoughts. We'll see how this evolves with time. I just thought it would be fun to film this now and be able to look back and be like, that was my 40-pound pack. And I honestly don't know what I would take out of it. I just don't. But yeah, and that's it. Thank you for watching. I hope you're well. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.